Welcome back to KTN Prime. We continue with our sit down with Nyandarua Senator John Methu, who equally happens to be the DCP Secretary General. By the way, how does that work? Secretary General while you're still a member of a different party?
At least there's something to run from Mr. William Ruto, because he was party leader of UDA and he was still deputy party leader of Jubilee.
Two wrongs don't make a right. So.
Definitely.
So you repeat it.
A good turn deserves another.
Interesting. So you're the substantive Secretary General.
Oh yes. You see, one thing that is guaranteed in the Constitution of Kenya are freedoms, and one of those freedoms is the freedom of association. You can't be forced to associate with people that you don't agree with. By all practical purposes, my philosophy aligns with the DCP party. So therefore.
But political hygiene at the end of the day, you're still on paper. In fact, if you go to RPP, you're a UDA member.
Yeah, but you see, in fact, political hygiene is first and foremost, I'm not elected to support William Ruto. My work in accordance to Article 96 is oversight.
True.
I'm bringing oversight on him.
Which party sponsored it?
The challenge that we are in, and the biggest, the biggest question that we should ask ourselves. Mr. William Ruto said, when there was that cooperation, the handshake cooperation, he said that now it looks a mongrel of a government.
I remember Chatham House before the 2022 general election.
That is exactly now where we get ourselves in some bit of a problem, because opposition is government, and government is opposition. I mean, there's a very bad mixture of issues, but some of us are walking on a straight path. We just don't agree with our party leader. We don't agree with the party that we are elected on. So therefore, we can't keep hiding. We just come out and do what we think is actually right.
Why not resign?
Because you see, unfortunately for me, the work that I am in, I would really want to resign, but I've been elected by people. Before I resign, I must go back to the people. Now, Kenyans are shouldering a very heavy burden. It would be an irresponsibility on my part to add, on top of that, to add another burden. Because you can imagine how much it would cost for us to go back to a by-election.
So you're trying to save Kenya some money?
Because I'm still doing what I'm supposed to do.
Okay.
It does not stop me from doing what I'm supposed to do. I'm one of the best that you have around. Person. I'm the Secretary General.
Let's speak about your party leader, Rigathi Gachagua, who yesterday didn't pull any punches as he was given an assessment or an appraisal of President Ruto's 4 years in office, of which he was a part of, by the way, for 2 years until his impeachment in late 2024. He highlighted broken campaign promises, implementation of draconian policies, punitive taxes, corruption and wasteful spending, human rights atrocities, alleged state-backed killings, and the list goes on. Let's just hear a snippet of what Rigathi Gachagua had to say on that Ruto at Force scorecard when he was highlighting some of the ills of the Ruto administration from his point of view.
William Ruto's administration has entrenched corruption as a way of life, and it remains systematic, pervasive, and deeply rooted in public service delivery and high-level governance. Mr. William Ruto's Western Hotel has been the leading recipient of government hospitality and catering tenders, securing 37 public contracts valued at hundreds of millions for the period ending June 2026. Contracts have come from state corporations, state departments, and county assemblies. It is clear that William Ruto is in competition with local entrepreneurs, where he flexes his executive powers and gives priority registration that enriches himself and his cronies at the expense of other hardworking Kenyans.
So it seems he's pointing to the transactional nature of the broad-based government under the leadership of President William Ruto. And I'd like to approach this question from a particular angle, because we understand Kenyans want action, not promises. But since you were actively in the campaign trail with William Ruto in 2022, do you truly believe President William Ruto has broken all the promises that swept him to power?
First and foremost, you know what Rigathi Gachagua was doing yesterday? was an audit of the 4 years of Mr. William Ruto. And it is very sad looking at, and by the way, he was the best person to do it, because every day we are on the road, every day we are receiving feedback. Today you are in Kajiado West. The other day we were in Narok. Yesterday we were at the party headquarters. The other day we were in Kiambu. The other day we were in Meru. We have been to Western. We've been to Mombasa. We've been to the coast. We've been to almost every part of this republic. And we are getting feedback from the people. They are telling us, like just now I've been sent a list of land that has been grabbed since William Ruto came to power by people from Kajiado, where we were. So he rightly was the person who was meant and who is supposed to actually do audit on government. And what makes me feel sad is when you look at the response that government has made, or the attempted response that government made, which in my opinion was very hurriedly prepared. There are specific issues that were raised by Rigathi Gachagua on the Ruto at 4 question. It is not our responsibility, by the way, to speak for government. They have so many people that they have employed. William Ruto can speak for himself. He has a deputy who can speak for him. He has cabinet secretaries who can speak. He has PSS who can speak. He even has a government spokesperson. He has a state house spokesperson. He has many parrots in parliament, who can speak for him. He has many people of many nature who can actually articulate his issues.
Yes.
If there is anything William Ruto had done in terms of delivering his plan, I'm sure he would have spoken about it. We would have seen the responses, because the issues that Rigathi Gachagua raised were very salient and were very direct. You have been accused that you have backed 37 contracts in a hotel that you are directly linked to, the Western Hotel. They would have told us, no, this is not true. This is not the case. When you saw the Cabinet Secretary for Interior, by the way, the worst, in my opinion, that we have ever had. The worst that we have ever had. Because the Cabinet Secretary is in charge of protection of life and property. So when we have a Cabinet Secretary who, besides the National Police Service, or when we have a country who, besides the National Police Service, have a separate set of armed goons and militia running and sometimes working in cahoots with police. You see them even being driven in police Land Rovers. These are not things that you are not aware of. These are things that you have seen. There are things that you have seen with your own eyes.
Media is documented.
It's something that has never happened. This has only, even Kindiki Machas, I think, is not a very useful leader. But even in his days as the Cabinet Secretary for Interior, these are not things that we saw. This is the lowest that the country has sunk. So there were issues that were raised by Rigathi Gachagua, many of them in terms of security. So when Kipchumba Murkomen woke up, I think at the middle of the night, I think he got ghosts in his head that were reminding him just of Rigathi Gachagua. He only spoke about one issue. He only responded about one issue, the death of Johanna Ngeno.
Yes.
And that even raises the curiosity more. Of all the issues that were raised, there were like 5 murder cases that Rigathi Gachagua raised. He only picked on one.
But
the one that,
okay.
The one that was almost directly touching on him. He, as the Cabinet Secretary for Interior, when he went to see Rachel Wandeto in hospital, he said that there's active investigation. And by the way, Rachel Wandeto died a day after Kipchumba Murkomen went to see him in hospital.
See her in the hospital, yeah.
When she was in hospital, a day after Kipchumba Murkomen went to see her, she died. That puts the first question. But be it as it may.
What questions?
So are
you trying to say it wasn't natural causes due to the ordeal she had gone through?
That is exactly, no. It has been alleged that she didn't just die a natural death. It has been alleged. That is what was in the statement yesterday. So what we expected.
But he who claims has to give proof,
Who is in charge of protection of life and property? It is not Rigathi Gachagua. It is not Roger. It is Kipchumba Murkomen. He's the one who actually said, we know the killers. We know the people who doused acid on Rachel Wandeto. How comes many months after she died, nothing has happened? We've never been told what has happened. So we expected, and the thing that we expect, as the people of Kenya, because we need some level of assurance. When he's the cabinet secretary he can't just be speaking recklessly like any other Kenyan. He should have told us. Now, we had a case in Olkalawani, of goons who are just wreaking havoc everywhere in the town. You saw something that you have only seen in movies. People on top of a rooftop of a vehicle shooting at citizens. At the end of it all, 2 people were killed. Scores were in hospital. What did Kipchumba Murkomen say? It was one of the most peaceful by-elections that you have ever had. When 2 people are 6 feet under, scores are in hospital. What kind of recklessness would that be from a cabinet secretary? Now, the issues that were raised by Rigathi Gachagua, he should have told us. In this case of Witima, it was reported. We even went to the Inspector General of Police. All right. We reported. Yeah. So we should have been told. Investigation have not been concluded, but we have gone this far. Okay. You are attacked in Rimuru. We have gone this far. You were attacked in church in Mweki. Fair enough. We have gone this far. Fair enough. We were attacked in church in ACK, All Saints Cathedral. Goons went and you played. You showed it in your here on our screens. I mean, what has happened about it? Let me tell you, Rogers.
Briefly, as we take a break.
Yeah. Let me tell you, Rogers. If you see the kind of response that came from government, it tells you that this country is on autopilot. Nobody can tell you what is happening where. In fact, the person who only seems to understand what is happening in the Republic is Rigathi Gachagua, through the other people who are giving him information. Because if indeed government had any answers to these questions, we would have seen the answers. But they're only selective. When Kimani Ichung'wah called the members of parliament, 50 of them.
We'll get to hear from Kimani. Yes. So you'll get the chance to reply then. Even as we continue, I mentioned that he who alleges must prove. And Gachagua made some serious allegations. As members of the Fourth Estate, we've been able to fact check some of them and some half-truths, if I may call them that. I'll get to articulate what exactly wasn't right in what he said during the Ruto at 4 scorecard. We want to take a break right now. The conversation continues. Don't touch the dial. You're watching KTN Prime. Stay with us.